Hey guys, welcome back to Whitty's Gear Review. Real quick, we did a video not too long ago on some budget Amazon and Temu knives. And in the comments, it was pretty interesting that a lot of people had some brands that they wanted to check out, or brands that they said that they've already carried and have had pretty good luck with. One of those brands I'm going to show you today. And I just thought it was a real interesting looking blade. And we'll kind of just jump into it. So this is a Flissa, and it has no name other than this F014042A. Nowhere else on here does it have a name. It says a number there again. It doesn't really show a name. It just says 4.25 inch black G10 handle folding knife with lock, new. Just a nice, brown box. You get your little brochure here, which I thought was interesting too, because I didn't realize, and maybe I'm a novice, that Flissa and Work Pro are basically sister companies under I'm not sure which company is the actual parent company here, but you have Great Star, you have Hoshoff and Flissa and Work and Value Max and Work Pro all on the same brochure. So maybe they're just all made in the same factory. If you know about that, I guess leave me a note in the comments. Let's get back to the knife. So not a lot in here. I do like, I guess, for shipping purposes, or maybe even for storing this thing. It's got a hard plastic little retainer that it comes stored in, and it does have some aesthetic. So I kind of like that if you were storing it in a drawer or something without the box, in a toolbox made for knives, whatever. I do like that it comes in that, but it has nothing to do with carrying the knife, right? So let's take a real good close look at it so you can see. That blade is perfectly centered. It's got a fairly deep pocket clip. You can see it's got an axis lock mechanism there and a hole for a lanyard. So just real quick on some of the specifics. I already talked about the axis lock. This comes in a D2 steel blade. It's the blade. Let's go ahead and open it up here. Let's see if we can Spidey flick it. There we go. All right. So the blade is stone washed, like a satin stone wash. It's got a super large finger hole, which I think is unique because out of the different ways that I've tried flipping this knife, the Spidey flick, which is harder to do with a lot of knives other than maybe some spider codes because of the big hole that they have, was the easiest way to deploy this knife. You can do a standard, reverse finger flick, and then your thumb flick, which I found where the way this is designed was the harder to do. Without trying to cut your finger off. Just seemed like it was harder to flick it the conventional way, which should be easy. And then as far as with the axis lock, you have to kind of almost let it drop out because it's seated really well in there. And maybe it's just because it's not broke in. But to me, reverse flicking it is super simple with this particular knife. You can see the texturing on the G10 handles. I do like the way the handle feels on this knife. It's a plenty big enough to be a solid 4-finger knife. There is no jimping on this knife whatsoever. But I don't know, it just seems like, maybe not needed. My hand seems to sit fine right in here without, as I'm pressing down, it's not moving a lot. I know a lot of people like to have that, that reference of the jimping on top there. Look at that blade. You got a, a pretty aggressive sharpening choil there. But let's talk about the blade shape. So they call this a clip point. It's clip point-ish, but it kind of looks reverse Tonto, maybe even a modified Warncliffe. I don't know if or maybe it's a modified clip point. But it is a unique style blade, and to be honest, I really like it. I like the way it looks. I like the way it feels. This is right-hand carry only. If you can see, there's no extra holes on this side, so it is right-hand carry. I am actually left-handed, but I guess somewhat ambidextrous because I open a knife religiously and carry it right-handed. And most of the time when I'm using the knife, I'll switch. If I'm doing nice little fine carving things, I'll do it with my right hand. If I want more force, if I'm bearing down and trying to cut into wood or something, I'm going to put it in my left hand. Doesn't make any sense, I get it, but that's what I'm blessed with. So overall, the knife, if you're looking at the blade comes in at 3.25 inches. It's a total of 7 1/4 when, in the open position, and folded, you're looking at 4 1/4. This knife is a littler on the beefier side as far as weight. You're looking at 101 grams or 3.52 ounces. So it is a little on the heavier side. You're definitely going to feel it in your pocket. But, it's not a bad choice, in my opinion, especially when we get down to the cost. It seems well made. It does seem a little stiff with the Axis Lock as far as flipping it out. It's not, a super fast flipper. It just seems like maybe I don't know how to use it yet. But you can hear that little ting that it makes when it flips open. I thought that was very interesting. But as far as flicking it, I mean, that's to me where it shines. If you like to flick your knives open, especially if you're a reverse flicker, I think this would be the right knife for that. But, this thing right now, if we just look at it for what it costs, sub $20 knife. You're looking at right now, it's $19.99. But it has a 15% off clickable coupon, which brings it down to $16.99. And at $16.99, you're also going to get free next day shipping. Now, that puts it, in my opinion, a little bit nicer of a knife when you have the quality and you could get it for $17. So for the people that were out there asking about Flissa, this is probably the best knife that I saw out of all the knives they make. I would recommend it highly for just materials, fit, finish. For the $16.99, I would recommend it for the $19.99. If you want a sub $20 knife and you're just looking for something a little bit different than a standard drop point or Tonto or, this is a unique style blade design. It's got that nice swoop back handle. There's no hot spots when you're holding it. That pocket clip it's a pretty decent clip, but it's kind of slim line and long and flat, so it kind of disappears in the hand. I mean, you can feel it, but it doesn't protrude to a point where it's uncomfortable or I wish they wouldn't have put it there kind of deal. And that's the only branding on the whole knife right there, and I don't think that's too bad. And you can see there, this blade is D2 steel. So D2 used to be, I guess, the pinnacle. A lot of knives came out, and D2 steel was, that steel that you got. Now we're moving out of D2, but D2 is still a good steel. It used to be one of the top steels, several years ago, and now it's back down to the moderate to budget line. But still, a lot of these knives still exist out there, from when D2 was that great steel, right? Nice looking knife, guys. Let me know your thoughts on this. And to the people that were out there that asked to see this and asked to see a couple of brands, I've got some others coming. We'll take a look at those too. So if I didn't get your brand out of the way right off the bat, I apologize. This one, like I said, it was next day shipping, so I ordered it, got it in, and thought, hey, for those that were asking, here it is. And in my honest opinion, this is probably the best Flissa knife that I've saw on Amazon. We'll leave a link in the description if you want to jump out and get you one of these while they still have that clickable coupon. Anyways, guys, what are you carrying in your pocket? Have you had any budget knives? If so, what are you carrying? Let us know. I'd be glad to review it so some other people could see, because a lot of people that get on this channel do like the budget knives, especially if we can find them budget knives that are in a that are, you know, decent quality build knives. And I would say this one definitely is. All right, guys, do me a favor. Like, share, subscribe. Click all the notifications. We do have our memberships up. If you want to support the channel, that's a great way. We also have our merch shop. Jump over there, buy you a sticker, hat, mug. Those are just ways, you know, you can help support the channel. But the biggest way you can support the channel is share us with your friends. Hit that like button, leave us a comment, and click all the notifications. Love y'all. See you on the next one.